Today we're going to get your radial weaving ready, and you're going to need a template for the radial weaving, and you'll need your painted plate. The way we're going to begin is by setting our template right inside our painted plate. Find a pencil, hold it nice and still with one hand, and everywhere you see a notch, you're going to put one tick mark. Before you remove the template, double check that you have a mark everywhere there's a notch on your plate, and then you can take it away. You will need your scissors next, and we are going to cut right on the brim or the rim of the plate, no farther. So just like that. You want to cut far enough in, not too far, so as to go down into the bowl of the plate, and far enough that your yarn will not fall out. Go all the way around. All right, that's it. Once you have your notches ready, choose the yarn that you're going to be warping with and flip your plate over. You're going to find one notch and about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of a tail of yarn, piece of masking tape, and tape it down just so it doesn't go anywhere. The next thing is going to be involving some counting. So you've got your yarn right here. You're going to count nine notches and bring your yarn into that 9th notch. So this is notch number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is where my yarn is going to go, into that 9th notch. Just like that. It almost divides my plate in two, but I have a larger number of notches on this side if I were to count. Now I'm going to rotate my plate and go to the notch next door. There's a little rhyme that I like to say. You're going to go to the neighbor's house, you're going to get kicked out, you're going to cross the street and make the smallest X possible. Here's my smallest X. Go into that notch, turn your plate, and I'm going to the right again. Go to the neighbor's house, get kicked out, cross the street, make the smallest X possible, turn the plate. And all I'm doing is going around the back of the plate. I'm not going back and forth and wrapping it around. Okay, back at it. Neighbor's house, get kicked out, cross the street, turn the plate. I'm not pulling too tight. If it pulls too tight, then your plate starts to bend. Neighbor's house, get kicked out, cross the street, turn the plate. Neighbor's house, get kicked out, cross the street, turn the plate. Neighbor's house, get kicked out, cross the street, turn the plate. Neighbor's house, get kicked out, cross the street, turn the plate. Neighbor's house, get kicked out, cross the street, turn the plate. Neighbor's house, nowhere to go. Now what you're going to do is you're going to make the last warp string by weaving it around in a circle. If you don't want a lot of orange in the center, or whatever color you chose in the center, then don't take a lot of the yarn. Take a little bit, or however much you're going to need. Cut off the excess. Set that yarn aside, and I just have a little tail of it. So now this is going to be where we start weaving. So I'm going to go this way, and you can decide whichever way you want to go. Under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. And now I'm going to take this yarn and pull it around. Keep going. I'm lifting it up. I can tell I went under this one, so I'm going to go over that one. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. And I'm going to pull it again. This is going to determine the center of my plate. So there it is. Now I would keep weaving. If I lift this up, I can tell I went under this one, and I'm going to have to go over this next one. So over, under, under, over, under. And as you get going, you'll see the weaving show up. So I went around almost the whole way. Make sure you pull on it as you get going around so that you don't have a whole bunch of yarn that you need to pull through. Do a little bit at a time. You can already start to see my weaving taking place. When you're ready for a new color, you can tie it onto this end, and I'll show you how to do that. You take two tails together like this, two tails together, make a loop like this, tuck your tails through, and pull. And this is a wonderful knot that is really hard to take apart. And that's all there is to it. You just keep weaving and enjoy.